Hi everybody, welcome back to Magical Tasty Delights. Today I'll be showing you one another usage of ragi. Ragi is a finger mill. It's called finger millet. It's one of the best millets that you could choose to eat. Millets are a group of food chain that is amazingly beneficial for various factors, and finger millet, which is ragi, which is abundantly used in the southern India, is extremely good for health. It helps in maintaining the body sugar levels. It's very good for people with diabetes and insulins. It's given in a lot in form of porridge for babies. We could make rotis, chapatis. It's very rich in vitamin D and calcium. It's one of the best millets you can choose to eat at least thrice or four times a week. There's also a popular dish called ragi mudde that is done in southern part of Karnataka, which is again extremely beneficial and filling. I'll show you how you could make use of whole ragi today and make dosas. We also get ragi flour for instant dosas, but I chose to use the whole one for extra benefits. So for that, I have taken the whole ragi. I will show the measurement of how much goes into the dosa. I have a 2/3 cup of brown rice. Um, you can choose white rice if you prefer to, but I'm trying and making a low carb dosa. So I have taken 2/3 cup of white brown rice. I have chana dal. I'm just going to be adding a teaspoon of it. I also have urad dal, which I'm going to add the same proportion as that of rice. So all you have to do is pour in the brown rice, and I'm going to be taking 2 measures of rice into ragi. So I'm going to be taking 2/3 of this cup as my ragi input to this. Now, if you look at this, this is how the whole ragi looks. It looks like mustard, but it is it's extremely good for health. You can even sprout it and use it. So for sprouting, you can soak it. I think it will take a few days to sprout. You can once soaked, you have to tightly tie it in a muslin cloth and leave it for a couple of days. It will sprout. Once that is done, you can let it dry to sun or just in air within your homes, spreading on a cloth. You can dry roast and powder it. It's extremely good for a healthy drink in the morning. You can use it as porridge in the mornings, and even you could just dry roast and have it as porridge. So I have taken the same measure of Bengal gram, about 2/3 of the 2/3 of the same measure as the rice. A Bengal gram, for those of you who don't know, is also called urad dal. In India, you will find it in every grocery store, and for other countries, you will find in the Asian sections of your normal grocery stores or in the Asian stores. This is again very rich in protein, and it gives a good texture, and this helps in fermenting the dosa. So I'm going to be pouring in that as well. I will add about a teaspoon of chana dal. This is just for a good color. Again, chana dal is also rich in protein. It is called yellow split grams. You can again find it in Asian sections, or in India you will get it everywhere. What I would also add to my dosas regularly is about a teaspoon of methi seeds, which is also fenugreek seeds. This not only gives a good texture to the dosa, but it's very good for health. It again helps in keeping sugar levels under control in the body. Now, normally for a regular rice dosa, we rinse this off well and then soak it. But I find it difficult to rinse ragi, so I just pour in water and soak it and leave as is and leave it for grinding. I will soak this for about 6 to 8 hours, and I will grind it later after 6 hours and into a smooth batter, which I will show you once done. I'll see you in a bit. I'm going to soak this now. So here it is. I have added water to soak it for about 6 to 8 hours. I would suggest don't add too much water, and if you do see the water is all used up, you can pour in later. Because what I normally use is the same batter. I use it for both idli and dosa. With this proportion, you can do both the dishes. So I will leave this for about 6 hours, and I'll keep an eye. If the water goes down, I'll add in some more, but not too much. And I'll show you how it looks after soaked up, and then before grinding and after grinding as well. One tip would be buy a clean ragi. You would get in the market when you buy in loose, especially. Make sure the ragi is quite clean, otherwise, it's difficult to rinse it and clean. The ones that I have is quite clean. I've tried and rinsed it twice, but if you get a better clean quality, you prefer that. So here it is, the soaked mixture for ragi dosa. Like you can see, all of them have been soaking well. I think this is the right water consistency for me to be able to make both idli and dosa. I will grind it and leave it overnight because it's still spring here. It's quite cold. So I'm going to be leaving it below the heater overnight for fermenting. But in India, because of the temperature, it will naturally ferment very nicely, very quickly. I will show you after grinding it. I use a regular mixie, but wet grinders are best for better aeration when you make idlis and dosas. They also help in fermentation. But I don't have a wet grinder here. I'm just going to be using a regular mixie blender. So we have ground this in mixie. This is the ground batter. Like you see, I have put it in a deep dish because I'm going to put it beside the heater tonight so that it rises up. Um, and I will show you making dosas tomorrow morning for a breakfast. Thank you. This is how the batter looks when it's raisin well. I had put it under the heater overnight. It looks well fermented. I have not added any salt. It is my little way of reducing the unnecessary salt intake because dosas, idlis, and chapatis are always eaten with an accompaniment, either with the chutney or any kind of sabji or curry, which already will have salt in it. So I don't add salt to the source dish itself. But what also is helpful at times is when it's very cold during peak winter, adding a little salt while grinding will help the fermentation. So this consistency is a bit thick, even for idli and dosa. So I'm going to be adding in little water so that the idlis get softer. You can make idli with this, but they will be a little hard. So if you add water, it'll become the right consistency and it will make the idli soft and fluffy. And with dosas also, it will be a bit thick. So I'll add a little water to this before I make dosas. I'll show you when I make dosa. So I'm going to make dosa now. This is the consistency after I have added water, and I have left the tawa to go on heat. It's on decent heat now. This is an iron tawa, so I normally use iron or steel for cooking. I'm just going to be smearing some oil for the first dosa alone. For the rest of them, I don't need to. This is just to kind of pre-season the cast iron. So I'll take a ladle full of batter, like your regular dosa. You can just pour in. If you choose to make it a little more greasy, you can always add ghee. Ghee is a better choice compared to any oil. It is still cooking. I will just reverse it out. You will see the pores that's coming out of the fermented batter. The pores come only if the batter is well fermented, and you see it is well fermented. Here I have put my second dosa, and here's the first cooked dosa. I've made some coconut chutney for breakfast. Coconut and roasted chana gram. Here's my breakfast for today, ragi dosa and coconut chutney. I've just smeared a bit of ghee, a little bit of ghee, because I like ghee on most of my dishes. Thank you everybody for watching. I'll see you again in the next video.